What's up, YouTube fam? Jason here. Dave's out of town. B and Lori are both out. So it's a solo show. Just wanted to touch base with everybody. Having a nice, great weekend. Hope you are too. And just thought we'd kick off a little something extra. Came in guns a-blazing. I came in with this thing. We were going to have another Jason Complains. I wanted to make it a series because if you've known me long enough, I've got nothing but things to complain about. And I had a fast food evening where you have the cravings, right? Sometimes you want that greasy crap food. I get the cravings. I go out. 2 horrible experiences and some horrible customer service from a third option. And going to go ahead and just kind of recoup that and go over that with everybody and a surprise plot twist ending. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's March 2nd, 2025. It's about 6:30 in the evening on a beautiful Sunday evening. It's Jason of the Solo Show. Coming at you was going to be a Jason's Complains episode. And it's no surprise to anybody who knows me well enough that I can find you things to complain about. It's pretty easy and sometimes pretty fun to do. We had an evening last week where we went out we were going to go out for fast food. It was just going to be me and B. And I was having a craving for a chocolate milkshake, and she was having one too. And so we decided, okay, Burger King's the closest one to us. A Burger King shake's pretty good. It's got some like powdery flavor to it and whatnot, but it's not half bad, right? So we're gonna go over and we're gonna have ourselves a fast food fix. And we pull into the Burger King. Let's say it's 7:00 at night. It's not overly busy, and it's a Burger King, which Burger King is like one step up from Arby's as far as being out of business. You can't half the time when you go to a Burger King, you don't understand if they're even open because there's no one in the lobby. So we go into the Burger King. We go and we stand, and there's no line. There's one family sitting in the back corner, a table of 4 or 5 sitting in the back corner, and they are having their meal. And the drive-thru's got some people in it. We stand up at the counter and we wait. And there's 2 people working. There's one guy bagging for the fast food. The other guy's taking orders. And we wait. And I'm starting to occur to me that, like, I don't know where the front person is, like the front desk or the front cashier is. Now, before anybody wants to go and question it, if you remember from all the other episodes, I have a history of fast food service. So I know fast food. I know customer service, and I know this isn't it. So it occurs to me that, okay, these 2 are working. Now, common sense would play into this, right? Let's take a imagine if you were their scenario. You've made some life choices and you're working at Burger King, and now you are going to see that there's 2 customers, one of which is an adorable young lady and a world famous podcast host come into your restaurant, and you are going to they're going to partake of your food, and obviously you're working and you're busy and you're doing things for the drive-through customers. Would it not occur to you to sit there and say, hey, we'll be with you in a minute, or we'll be right back, just hang tight, we'll be right there? Just by acknowledging the customer, you're going to buy yourself at least 2, 3, 4 minutes. None of this happens. None of it. I mean, to the point of making eye contact with another human being, nothing. There's just zip. I'm like, okay. I look at B looks at me, and I said, F this, we're out of here. So I go to the table, I take a Burger King crown, and I take the crown and I put it on B's head, and then off we go. I said, to hell with this, we're going to get a chocolate shake at McDonald's. We go a half a mile down the road, right? Because when you build one, you have to have another one right next to it. So we go a half mile down the road, and we go to that McDonald's. Now, more people, right? Because that's what you normally see at a McDonald's. Drive-through is pretty long. Okay, I get that. 4 or 5 families in there eating. Okay, I get that. And it is now 7:30, maybe 7:45 at night. Once again, drive-through, very busy. Once again, not really sure who's running the front counter. There's a gentleman who I'm very confident was the janitor because he was standing next to a mop bucket. He walks over to me at the counter and just gives me this stare of, please don't use English because I don't know what you're about to say. So I'm like, okay, well, at this point, McDonald's has those self-serve kiosks. And the one thing with the self-serve kiosk is I don't have to interact with anybody and nobody really has to be there. So I said, yeah, we'll just need a minute. Off he goes to continue doing whatever he was doing. And then we go to the kiosk and we place our order. Not a very complicated order. It's a value meal. It's a Happy Meal. There's a chocolate shake. Everybody's good to go. First off, the price. I, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to fast food prices, but it used to be the the Achilles heel of the fast food industry always was it was not catered to. It targets the poor. It makes the poor obese because they can't afford anything else. They can only afford the the Happy Meals and the value meals and the dollar menu, and that's all they can do, and that's why they can't eat healthy and they can't afford it. And now that's out. The fact of the matter is that you have to have you're going to go into you're pulling out 20s out of your wallet now every time you go to fast food, where you'd have the dollar menu or the dollar soda. Like, these days are just gone. So everybody got together and they said, no, prices came up. And then, oh, if we go, prices came up. So we go through, we see our incredibly high total, and then we wait and we wait some more. And now I'm like, I'm looking around. I'm literally looking around for a hidden camera. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that this could actually be happening, where I'm going to sit here yet again on the second fast food thing. And it's not like I mean, I think it was a Thursday, right? So, it was the middle of the week, but they're open for business, but not open for business. We, I'm sitting there watching the people in the back, and all of a sudden they just start talking to each other. Not one word of English. And I'm like, okay, I can't even tell what they're saying. I'm looking in the back. Now, remember from previous episodes, I used to work at McDonald's. I know how to make the food that I ordered. I'm looking back at the grill area. Nothing. There's nothing remotely close to what I ordered or what B ordered in this mix. And I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do at this point. So I call someone's attention, I ask for it, and eventually it then does show up. But I'm like, at what point does any of this make any sense? So we come home, eat our fast food, raise our cholesterol, shorten our lifespan. Who cares? It's still, it was delicious at the time. And that's the thing, fast food thing. When you're young, you can eat fast food. It's fine. When you're old and you eat fast food, it hurts the next day. So we go through, we eat our fast food, and I'm kind of just fuming on it. So I'm sitting on it. I'm all pissed off. I get online onto bkexperience.com, I think is what it was called. Because the BK one, the McDonald's one, fine. There were people there. Eventually I got my food. I get that. The one for Burger King, absolutely ridiculous. I don't get it. Where there's two people working and they saw us. They made eye contact with us and they couldn't even say hello. So I go through in my middle manager minute style of writing and I give them an email worthy of a frame. And I send it in, to which the next day bkexperience.com writes me back with this blanket statement, cut and paste response of, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We will consult and coach the team members to give them the best experience ever. And there was no, hey man, how about I buy you a box of nuggets, or I buy you a shake, or buy you something to say next time you come in, hey, this one was our bad. The profit margin on this food is unbelievable. You could give away food and you'd have repeat customers constantly. So they gave me zero, absolutely zero back. So that was fun. So yeah, Burger King wasn't worth my time to even write the email. And then there was that day. And then the following, a few days later, at work, we decided we were going to go to Firehouse Subs. Now I work in a firehouse, so Firehouse Subs makes a whole lot of sense sometimes, just to kind of keep it. And you can see like there's pictures on the wall of the people we used to work with, and some nostalgia stuff hangs on the wall. Well, it's fine, and it's a halfway decent sub. Let's not get excited, right? So I go in and I've got the Firehouse Subs app, as any good firefighter would do, and I go to look at this app, and I had 20,000 points, 20,000 Firehouse points. Now, it doesn't equate to a whole lot, right? But it's 20,000 points I'd accumulated all these years. And I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and just get my meal, because whatever, I got the points, I can use it. 0 points. There are 0 points sitting on the app. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So apparently, in the fine print of the writing, way down in the bottom, is the stipulation that if you do not use the app within a calendar year, they just wipe out the points, just completely wipe them out. And I was trying to think back, like, well, when was the last time I was here? The last few times I've been there, I forgot to add up more points because I just had so many points. I didn't even care anymore. I just figured I'd go in, I eat, no big deal, never realizing that these things would expire. So I reach out to customer service through Facebook app first. Get on Facebook Messenger. Hey, here's the situation. I lost my points. Where are they? Okay, send us your information. I send in the information. Crickets. I get nothing back. So then I go back to Facebook Messenger again a few days later. Hey, still waiting on feedback for my 20,000 points that I left here on the table. Where are those at? Okay, we'll be in contact with you. There was no contact. There's an 800 number that Firehouse Subs has you can call. The 800 number just doesn't go anywhere. You hit like one to talk to somebody and it says thank you and it just hangs up the phone. And I'm like, okay, let's really think about this. So I sent him one last message and I went, I want you guys to really think about the math of how this is going to work out. Just, I know I'm one customer, but if it's happening to me, it's happening to a lot of people. It's 20,000 points. Let's say it's worth, I don't know, 2 subs and a brownie. It doesn't matter. Every time I come into that restaurant, I'm going to spend money. It gets me in the door. It makes me a repeat customer. It makes me more likely to come back again the next time. I can promise you, if I don't get my 20,000 points, I'll never walk in again. So you can have $0 in sales for your 2 free subs and a brownie, or you can give me the 2 free subs and a brownie and increase the likelihood of me coming back. So I'm all wound up, right? I'm all wound up and I'm ready. I took my notes. I got the podcast stuff all set up. We're ready to blast Firehouse Subs on the world famous Very Terrible podcast sponsored by South Florida Lift Stations. And what I turn on and I get onto my app and I'm excited and I'll be, right? So you turn on your app and there you go. If you're watching it on YouTube, I'm showing the app. You can order online, you can order whatever. And then I hit my account button and I go, well, I'll be damned. Look at that. They put the points back on my account. I'm like, well, okay, all right, there's a step in the right direction. Apparently somebody at some point read it and went, he may have a point. Are we really going to sink the ship for 20,000 points? But comes with a fun stipulation. And if you can read that, it just says, your points will expire if not used or accumulated more by August 19th. Now I say, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. You're telling me the rules before I go into the game. I'm on board. That is A-okay. But then I started, and I said I was pretty close when it came down to the thing. You can scroll down on the app, and you can see, if you're watching it on YouTube, you can see it's 8,000 points for a small. And if you've ever been to Firehouse, to eat a large is going to give you a stomach ache. So if you went to medium sub, it says, I'm not sure if the camera can focus or not, medium sub's 12,000 points. Medium sub 12,000. He'll throw in, I've got 20, right? So there's 12 there. Let's see if I went down to desserts. Brownie 4,000. So there you go. 12 and a 4 is 16. 4 is 20. So for 1 medium sub and 2 brownies, they were gonna sink the ship. So somebody with common sense and halfway decent math skills must have went, you know what? He's gonna complain until he gets something. Jason complains 1, Firehouse Sub 0. So to their credit, they did make it right. And that's all I can ask for sometimes. And that's all we can all ask for sometimes is at the end of the day. And apparently, come to find out, I get on a few different websites. A lot of the fast food places that have apps and have these things, they have expiration dates built in to motivate you to come back quicker. But there's a tipping point. And for me, that was going to be it. So good experience, I guess, overall with Firehouse Subs. It's a decent sub. It's sometimes they're warm if you want them warm, and they're not bad. It's not terrible, but don't get a large. It'll give you a stomach ache. But that has been the fast food experience with me lately, and it's, for one, fast food's not good for you. I don't endorse eating fast food, and Firehouse Subs is kind of still sort of fast food, but it's a little bit better for you. And then there's that weird spectrum of like fast food that's way too expensive. Like if you go to Five Guys Burgers, I mean, it's completely ridiculous. It's off in left field. Nobody can afford Five Guys Burgers on a regular basis. So, But that was the big story to do with what's going on lately. To catch you guys up to, uh, uh, legendary American actor Gene Hackman passed away, which gives me the 2024 very terrible podcast death pool. So there you go. I'm the 2024 winner. The 2025 points for Gene Hackman went to Dave. And let's see if I get the right button. Hey, there you go. Congratulations, Dave, on his scoring of points for 2025. So Dave has positioned himself really well. He's got Gene Hackman for 2025, and he's got Pope Francis on his list, which is also not looking fantastic. So he's going to be almost uncatchable if things keep working out the way that they do. Otherwise, that 2024 did come to a close with, I guess, me on top. I don't. There's no prize. I'm going to take the Burger King crown. I'll wear the Burger King crown the next time we have the episode when B's on. I'll make her put the crown on my head as a triumphant champion of the 2024 Very Terrible Podcast, sponsored by South Florida Lift Stations Death Pool. Speaking of South Florida Lift Stations, let's pay some bills. This episode of the Very Terrible Podcast is brought to you by South Florida Lift Stations. For all your lift station sales, service, and maintenance needs, call Josh at 239-707-3603. South Florida Lift Stations, the official sponsor of the Very Terrible Podcast. The Very Terrible Podcast can be found on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, YouTube, and wherever you get your favorite podcasts. If you'd like to be a sponsor of the Very Terrible Podcast, you can message us on Facebook, Instagram, or email us at jdvtpodcast@gmail.com. As always, we thank South Florida Lift Stations for their continued support. They actually offered some really interesting feedback right after the last two episodes where Lori had joined me. I got a quick instant message over that said, "Why are you never wearing your wedding ring?" I had to go back into the episodes and see. Apparently, a lot of times when we do this, it's late at night or it's just been a busy day and I forget to get completely dressed. I mean, you can only see me from the chest up. I might not even be wearing pants. But there you go. So there you go. There's my wedding ring. It is rubber, as my job tends to, get my hand caught sometimes on places. So I have a rubber wedding ring. And it is on today. So for all the super fans that are paying their attention as they do, thanks so much for always watching out for us. Yeah, otherwise than that, that's all it was. I was going to come in guns a-blazing. We were going to hashtag Firehouse Subs. We might just hashtag them anyway, just to let them know that we acknowledge the fact that they gave us the points back and we're going to spend them eating Firehouse Subs. But otherwise than that, it's a beautiful Sunday evening, back to regular work and regular life tomorrow. I am Jason, and this has been another Very Terrible Podcast. All right, and that ends up the audio version. So the audio version is all set to go. Spotify's put to bed, just me and you, YouTube left over and behind. The only other new thing we've got going on, we have got a deal almost set up with Cape Life shirts. So we are in the city of Cape Coral. There's a company down in the south end of the city called Cape Life. They make sun shirts, like the fishing shirts. We've been emailing design back and forth to them. And I think we're going to have some really cool fishing shirts set up that we will actually, I'm pretty sure if I can get the right pattern design and a quantity, we can actually have them available for sale or for listener prizes and things like that. So I'm really kind of excited about that because it's really good quality. It looks like it's really great quality. They've got professional design behind their logos and ideas, and it keeps the money local. It's not a big national place. Full disclosure, we do use Sticker Mule for everything else. Sticker Mule makes beautiful shirts. I said, like this one right here, and all the other ones that I wear on the show, the Mike Calta shirts, the Very Terrible Podcast stuff. They do a fantastic job with stickers and everything else. So yeah, we're going to try to make an effort to have some sun shirts made up. Very comfortable, very good out when you're out in the sun in the summer. And that's that, Splat. So, well, raspy voice tonight. Here's to you, health, wealth, and happiness. We will see you next time at the Very Terrible Podcast.